A very good afternoon. You're watching the midday news on Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor and here are the headlines. President pays a tribute to Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar on his 127th birth anniversary at his birthplace, Mahau in Madhya Pradesh. Vice President and Prime Minister pay homage to the icon in Parliament. First of 1.5 lakh health centres under government's ambitious Ayushman Bharat scheme to be launched. Prime Minister to initiate a centre's rural outreach program in over 20,000 villages from Bijapur in Chhattisgarh. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley to take oath as a Rajya Sabha member in a chairman's chamber tomorrow at 11 a.m. Jaitley was re-elected to the upper house from Uttar Pradesh. Three civilians injured in US-led attack on government targets in Syria. Donald Trump warns of sustained attack till Assad regime stops the use of chemical weapons. Russia says there will be consequences to the attack on its ally. And India's golden run at the Commonwealth Games on day 10. Mary Kom, Neeraj Chopra, Sanjeev Rajput and Gaurav Solanki win, taking India's gold tally to 21. PV Sindhu sets up an all-India final with Saina Nehwal in the women's singles badminton. The nation is marking the 127th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar today, and the anniversary is being marked as a National Social Justice Day. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan, several union ministers and other dignitaries paid floral tributes at a function organized at a Parliament House lawns. Several leaders, including union ministers, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and Rahul Gandhi, also paid tributes to the icon. And a function was also held in a central hall of Parliament House in which leaders paid floral tributes. And President Ramnath Kovind paid tributes to Dr. Ambedkar in Mahau in Madhya Pradesh. Mahau is the birthplace of Dr. Ambedkar, and the President there paid tributes at his statue.
राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद आगे बढ़ रहे हैं.
सब जानते हैं कि जो इस देश का प्रथम मंत्रिमंडल था नेहरू जी के नेतृत्व में, उसमें बाबा साहब को विधि मंत्री के रूप में जिम्मेदारी मिली थी. अगर हम लोग कभी ध्यान से देखें तो पता चलता है कि उस पूरे मंत्रिमंडल में उच्च शिक्षा की दृष्टि से डॉक्टर अंबेडकर के पास देश और विदेश के विश्वविद्यालयों से प्राप्त जितनी डिग्रियां और उपाधियां थी, उतनी मंत्रिमंडल के किसी अन्य सदस्य के पास नहीं थी. संभवतः इसका एक प्रमुख कारण ये रहा होगा कि वे अपने विद्यार्थी जीवन में सदैव अपना सारा ध्यान और अपनी सारी ऊर्जा केवल और केवल शिक्षा पर ही लगाते रहे. बाबा साहब यदि ऐसा ना करते, हम लोग कभी कल्पना करें, बाबा साहब यदि ऐसा ना करते और कहीं भटक गए होते तो शायद वो इतने बड़े विद्वान ना बन सके होते. मित्रों, बाबा साहब के जीवन के बारे में जानकर सभी को, खासकर युवाओं को, बहुत प्रेरणा मिलती. कदम कदम पर अभाव, अपमान और अड़चनों का सामना करते हुए वंचित समाज के एक बालक ने दुनिया के सबसे सम्मानित विश्वविद्यालयों में असाधारण विद्यार्थी के रूप में सम्मान अर्जित किया था. जब वे केवल 27 वर्ष के थे तब उनका एक महत्वपूर्ण लेख प्रकाशित हुआ था जिसका नाम था स्मॉल होल्डिंग्स इन इंडिया एंड देयर रेमेडी. उस लेख के द्वारा डॉक्टर अंबेडकर एक अर्थशास्त्री के रूप में स्थापित हो गए थे. बाबा साहब के जीवन का एक और महत्वपूर्ण पहलू ये है कि उन्होंने अपने सार्वजनिक जीवन में सदैव अहिंसा और करुणा का मार्ग चुना। जिन मुद्दों पर बाबा साहब को आम जनता का हित दिखता था, उन मुद्दों को वो हमेशा अहिंसा के रास्ते पर चलकर आगे बढ़ाते रहे और अंततोगत्वा उन्हें सफलता भी मिली। देश की महिलाओं को संपत्ति में बराबरी का दर्जा दिलाने के लिए उन्होंने केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल से इस्तीफा तक दे दिया था। उन्होंने समाज के कमज़ोर वर्गों, अनुसूचित जाति, अनुसूचित जनजाति और पिछड़ों के कल्याण की बात की। लेकिन इस
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also going to roll out Ayushman Bharat from Chhattisgarh's Bijapur today. All right, so Prime Minister Narendra Modi is launching the first of the 1.5 lakh wellness centres under the government's ambitious Ayushman Bharat program today. And the launch is taking place in the Naxal-affected Bijapur district in Chhattisgarh, marking the first visit by any Prime Minister to this district. Now, Bijapur, along with Baharaich in Uttar Pradesh and Mewat in Rajasthan, were among the 115 aspirational districts which have shown noteworthy achievements in the last 3 months. The Aspirational District program is an innovation in governance that covers about 15% of India's population and is reflective of the priority of the government to provide for the poorest of poor. Prime Minister Modi had launched the Transformation of Aspirational Districts program in the month of January. Now, speaking about the Ayushman Bharat that is going to be launched, well, it has a twin mission. First, creating a network of health and wellness centers to deliver comprehensive primary health care close to the community. And second, providing insurance cover to 40% of India's population that is the most deprived for secondary and tertiary care, including, for instance, hospitalization costs. In a bid to reach out to the poor rural households, the centre's Gram Swaraj Abhiyan is being launched from today as well, and the 8th phase Abhiyan will go on till 5th of May. Now, this Abhiyan is being undertaken for spreading awareness about the government welfare schemes and other people-centric initiatives to poor households. The idea is to reach out to the poor in the 21,000 most backward villages in the country. The Prime Minister spelled out several programs during the period, with the 18th of April being observed as a Swachh Bharat Festival. 20th, 24th and 28th of April will be observed as Ujjwala Divas, Panchayati Raj Divas and Gram Shakti Divas respectively, to highlight various government schemes. Prime Minister Modi also said that he will interact with BJP leaders on 22nd of April through video conferencing. 30th of May, 2nd of May and 5th of May will be dedicated to highlighting various schemes aimed at benefiting farmers and the poor.
सरकार ने अंबेडकर जी ने जो विकास की परिकल्पना की थी उसको साकार रूप देने के लिए ग्राम स्वराज अभियान प्रारंभ किया है, जो 14 तारीख से लेकर के 5 मई तक चलेगा और आज सामाजिक न्याय दिवस के रूप में उसको मनाया जा रहा है.
And earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday said that his government will not allow any dilution of the SC/ST Atrocities Act. The Prime Minister was speaking at a function in New Delhi after dedicating the Dr. Ambedkar National Memorial to the nation.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the government will not allow dilution of the Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act. Countering opposition's charge on the issue, the Prime Minister said that it is his government that has strengthened the act to prevent atrocities against Dalits.
अपने दलित भाई बहनों, पिछड़ों, आदिवासियों के सम्मान के लिए, उनके अधिकार के लिए हमारी सरकार पूरी तरह प्रतिबद्ध है. SC/ST पर अत्याचार से जुड़े मामलों की तेज सुनवाई के लिए स्पेशल कोर्ट्स का गठन किया जा रहा है. सरकार ने पिछड़ी जातियों के सब कैटेगरी के लिए कमीशन के गठन का निर्णय भी किया है.
The Prime Minister was speaking at a function in Delhi after dedicating the Dr. Ambedkar National Memorial to the nation on Friday. The Prime Minister elaborated that special courts are being set up for urgent hearing of cases involving atrocities on SCs and STs. He accused the Congress of spreading rumours about scrapping of reservations and weakening of the SC-ST Act. Said that the present government has given importance to social justice and the right to equality to all in every plan and project. The Prime Minister hit out at the Congress, alleging that it used all its power to erase the legacy of Ambedkar from India's history. The foundation stone for the memorial was laid by the Prime Minister in 2016. It is dedicated to the life and contributions of Dr. Ambedkar, the principal architect of the Constitution. The memorial of Baba Saheb Ambedkar has been given the shape of a book. On the occasion, Union Ministers including Thawar Chand Gehlot, Dr. Harshvardhan and Ram Vilas Paswan were also present. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And BSP Chief Mayawati also paid tributes to Dr. Ambedkar today.
मैं बाबा साहब डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर को अपनी ओर से वे अपनी पार्टी की ओर से भी पूरे तहे दिल से श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पित करती हूँ और इस मौके पर मैं उनके करोड़ों अनुयायियों से ये भी अपील करती हूँ कि वे उनके बताए हुए रास्तों पर चलकर अपने पैरों पर खुद खड़े हों.
All right, so the nation marking the 127th birth anniversary of Dr. Ambedkar today. And with this, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news.
Enter the majestic forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan and you'll come across the Jaipur column. A gift to the Viceroy from Savai Madho Singh, the Maharaja of Jaipur, to commemorate the creation of the new capital. The 145-meter high column is crowned with 6 pointed crystal stars on a bronze lotus, and inside the stone shaft runs a steel tube which weighs a little more than 5 tons. The base of the column has text conceived by Lord Irwin and Sir Edwin Lutyens inscribed on it.
Welcome back after the break. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will take oath as a member of the Rajya Sabha. On Sunday, the oath taking will take place in Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu's chamber at 11 a.m. Remember, Jaitley was re-elected to the Rajya Sabha in the biennial elections that were held for 58 seats recently. Jaitley had won from Uttar Pradesh. He was also once again appointed as the leader of the Rajya Sabha following his re-election. News from the south of the country, the 10th edition of Defence Expo will draw to a close today, and the DRDO has earmarked 18,000 crore rupees as the investment plans for the current fiscal, which includes developing the next generation lighter BrahMos missile. The country's premier defence research institute has allocated about 25 to 30% for developing new projects during the current financial year. BrahMos Aerospace has said that it has a proposal to develop BrahMos next generation missiles, which will be termed as the BrahMos NG missiles. Now, these missiles will be lighter than the existing BrahMos missiles and will have almost similar kind of range and would be able to be launched from various platforms. As these missiles would be lighter, BrahMos is also planning to have more launches, submarines, ships and aircrafts. On to some other news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that those found guilty of crimes against women will not be spared and that justice will be delivered. He was speaking in the backdrop of 2 incidents of rape, one in Kathua in JNK and one in Unnao in Uttar Pradesh. The Supreme Court also took suo motu cognizance in the Kathua case and has sent notices to the lawyers' associations who tried to prevent the girl's family from getting legal representation. Meanwhile, 2 ministers who allegedly came out in support of the accused in Jammu and Kashmir have resigned.
In an apparent reference to the recent rape cases in both Unnao and Kathua, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday said those who commit crimes against women will not be spared. He assured that the victims will get justice.
देश के किसी भी राज्य में किसी भी क्षेत्र में होने वाली ऐसी वारदातें हमारी मानवीय संवेदनाओं को झकझोर देती है। मैं देश को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि कोई अपराधी बचेगा नहीं, न्याय होगा और पूरा होगा। उन बेटियों के साथ जो जुल्म हुआ है, उन बेटियों को न्याय मिल के रहेगा।
The Supreme Court on Friday took suo motu cognizance of the conduct of lawyers in the Kathua rape case. The apex court sent a notice to the Bar Council of Jammu and Kashmir for preventing the filing of a charge sheet against the rape accused. The court also sent notices to the Kathua District Bar Association and the High Court Bar Association at Jammu for opposing the filing of the charge sheet in the case and also for obstructing a lawyer from representing the victim's family. The Supreme Court has sought responses by April 19th.
जो बार काउंसिल है जम्मू कश्मीर का, वो हाई कोर्ट में ही निहित है उसका पावर। तो चूंकि बार काउंसिल जम्मू कश्मीर का कुछ नहीं किया अभी तक, इसलिए बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया को इसमें कुछ करना है। हम संडे को अपनी मीटिंग कर रहे हैं, संडे के बाद हम इसमें डायरेक्ट एक्शन लेंगे।
The Delhi High Court issued notices to some media groups for disclosing the identity of the Kathua gang rape victim. It also sought a response from the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights on the issue. The horrific crime against the 8-year-old in Kathua in Jammu and Kashmir has triggered nationwide outrage.
हम उसके साथ ही हैं जी, जो कातिल हैं उनको मारना चाहिए, उनको फांसी करना चाहिए, उनको सजा होनी चाहिए सर।
Two Jammu and Kashmir ministers who allegedly supported the suspects in the case have resigned. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti said the state government will enact a law ensuring death penalty for raping minors. Women and Child Development Minister Maneka Gandhi said her ministry will move a cabinet note on Monday to amend the Protection of Children Against Sexual Offences Act, seeking death penalty for raping a minor below 12 years of age.
जब भी कोई बच्चा का बलात्कार हो, 4 स्टेटों ने अभी भी डेथ पेनल्टी के लिए करा है। हम लोग भी चाहेंगे कि पॉक्सो एक्ट को बदल करके जो 12 साल के बच्चे के नीचे के ऊपर अगर कोई इस तरीके से बलात्कार हो, तो वी शुड आस्क फॉर द डेथ पेनल्टी।
The Congress has announced to carry out candlelight marches in every state to protest against the Kathua and Unnao rape cases.
ये बलात्कार की सैकड़ों घटनाएं हुई हैं, प्रधानमंत्री चुप हैं। प्रधानमंत्री तो एक ही चीज़ जानते हैं, इलेक्शन कैसे लड़ना है और बीजेपी को कैसे जिताना है। बाकी देश भाड़ में जाए, कोई मरे, कोई लिंचिंग किसी का हो, कोई धर्म किसी को काटे, किसी का बलात्कार हो, ये प्राइम मिनिस्टर को इसकी क्या परवाह है।
The minor victim had disappeared from near her home in a village near Kathua in Jammu and Kashmir on January 10th. Her body was found a week later from a nearby woods. The police has filed a main charge sheet against 7 persons and a separate charge sheet against a juvenile in court in Kathua district earlier this week. With inputs from Vipul Chauhan, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Our top international focus now. The US, UK and France coordinated to launch strikes against targets in Syria in response to an alleged chemical weapons attack by the regime of President Bashar al-Assad. Explosions have been reported in Syrian capital Damascus. Well, the strikes come after US President Donald Trump announced from the White House diplomatic room that he had ordered the US armed forces to launch precision strikes. Donald Trump said that US was prepared to sustain this response until the Syrian regime stops its use of prohibited chemical weapons. However, he maintained that America does not seek an indefinite presence in Syria. UK Prime Minister Theresa May confirmed that the British were involved, saying that there was no practical alternative to the use of force. But she also said that these strikes were not about regime change. At a Pentagon briefing, US Defense Secretary James Mattis said that the airstrikes on targets in Syria were a one-time shot to send a strong message to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Meanwhile, 3 civilians were wounded in Homs after several missiles were intercepted by the Syrian air defense systems. The Syrian armed forces said in a statement that the US, France and the UK fired 110 missiles. The Syrian defense systems intercepted most of the missiles, but some hit targets, including the research center in Barzeh. Meanwhile, Russia's ambassador to the United States warned that there would be consequences for the strikes on its ally, adding that it was not acceptable to insult Russia's president.
The United States Armed Forces to launch precision strikes on targets associated with the chemical weapons capabilities of Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad. A combined operation with the armed forces of France and the United Kingdom is now underway. We thank them both.
That will depend on Mr. Assad should he decide to use more chemical weapons in the future. And of course, the powers that have signed the chemical weapons prohibition have every reason to challenge Assad should he choose to violate that. But right now, this is a one-time shot, and I believe that it sent a very strong message.
I have authorised British armed forces to conduct coordinated and targeted strikes to degrade the Syrian regime's chemical weapons capability and deter their use. This is not about intervening in a civil war. It is not about regime change. It is about a limited and targeted strike that does not further escalate tensions in the region and that does everything possible to prevent civilian casualties.
And now news from the Commonwealth Games. Boxer MC Mary Kom created history again by winning gold in the 48 kg category today at the Commonwealth Games by thrashing Northern Ireland's Christiana O'Hara. The 35-year-old, a five-time world champion and Olympic bronze medalist, was competing in her debut Commonwealth Games and also perhaps her last, and made it a memorable one with yet another dominating performance to claim an unanimous verdict of 5-0. Mary Kom is a five-time world champion and Olympic bronze medalist and has also won the Asian Championship 5 times. She is the only Indian boxer to win a medal at this edition of the Games after Pinky Rani, El Sarita Devi and Lovlina Borgain failed to reach the medal rounds. And India's fourth ever individual medal in athletics came as Neeraj Chopra bagged home the first ever gold in a javelin throw. Neeraj Chopra has joined the league of Milkha Singh, Krishna Purnia and Vikas Gowda to win individual gold in athletics in the history of the Commonwealth Games. And the third gold for the day was bagged by shooter Sanjeev Rajput. He won in the men's 50 meters rifle 3-position event. He shot a combined total of 454.5. That is a Commonwealth Games record. And with this win, Rajput bagged his third medal at the Commonwealth Games. And the fourth gold for India for the day came from Gaurav Solanki, who won the men's boxing event in the 52 kg category after an emphatic performance against Northern Ireland's Brendan Irvine. Solanki won the final 4-1 on a split decision. Solanki used his long reach to good effect and rushed Irvine to be on the defensive from the outset. Irvine struggled to land his punches whenever he tried to be aggressive. And Sumit of India also won gold in the wrestling men's 125 kg after a walkover in the final. And the sixth gold for India for the day has come from Vinesh Phogat. A dominant Phogat successfully defended her gold medal from the 2014 Commonwealth Games. Phogat won in the 50 kg wrestling category by technical superiority. Now, this is her second consecutive Commonwealth Games gold. And in the other medals of the day, Manish Kaushik won a silver after losing in the men's boxing 60 kg category final to Australia's Harry Garside. And Amit Pangal won silver in his maiden games after losing to England's Yafai Galai in the final of the 46 to 49 kg category. And in table tennis, Manika Batra played the game of her life to beat a Singapore challenger in the women's singles semi-final. She pulled off a thrilling win, beating Tian Hui Feng 12-10, 5-11, 11-8, 5-11, 5-11, 11-9, 13-11. She now plays for gold in the final. And here is the medals table as it stands now, with India winning 23 gold medals so far. And that's all in this edition of news. Thanks for watching.